So I'm willing to bet that every single rumor that we have heard about the next Nintendo console leading up to this point is probably just been unintentionally sort of indirectly confirmed by Nintendo themselves. So if you didn't catch the news earlier, Nintendo has officially come out and basically announced that this Switch successor is a thing. They're going to be announcing it within the fiscal year, which could be anywhere between now and March 2025. They also announced the next Nintendo Direct, which is going to be in June, which we talked about in that video. And again, if you want a more in-depth kind of discussion about the topic, because we do kind of go into a little bit more beyond just what they tweeted out, because I think there's things we can still kind of, pick apart and assume based on Nintendo's patterns. So if you want to be part of that discussion, that's in that video. I'll try to remember the link down in the description below. But we actually got more information directly from Nintendo. This is not speculation. This is not rumors or anything like that. This is more information regarding what this Switch successor is. By the way, guys, if you enjoy this one, be sure to leave it a like. Really helps with the channel. Lets YouTube know you guys enjoy the content and it shares it with other people. That's kind of how the algorithm works. The algorithm is a little bit crazy here on YouTube. And your own videos tend to get buried even to your own subscribers half the time. So again, that'd be definitely super appreciated. If you guys don't like it though, it's completely fine as well. Let me know what you don't like so I can improve the content in the future. All right, so this is coming again from the horse's mouth, for lack of a better word. David Gibson on Twitter, who is a games, internet, social media, tech, and IT kind of senior analyst at MST Financial is his bio on Twitter. He reported that in the results call, so there's the results call with Nintendo themselves, when asked if the next gen console is brand new or what, Furukawa actually gave an answer. I'll throw it up on screen, the tweet that David Gibson posted. This is what it says. This was Furukawa's answer. He says, "Switch next model is the appropriate way to describe it," end quote. That's literally it. That's the quote. One sentence that gave us so much information just in that little tidbit that we can absolutely run with. So he basically, Furukawa, this is Nintendo themselves. You gotta understand, this is the Nintendo president himself in the results call. This is not David Gibson just kind of, saying this is speculation or anything. This is the results call that, various people were part of, shareholders, different things like that, whoever else. So this is official. This is not speculation. So he basically just confirmed that the next console is sort of like Switch based. Excuse me. It is rooted off of the Nintendo Switch in some way. Switch next model. Now, I don't think it's going to be the same thing as what we've seen with the OLED or the Nintendo Switch Lite or anything like that. I don't think it's going to be like that at all. What I do believe, and I've been saying this for months, and I have the videos to back it up. I've been making videos on this for months now, as we've been kind of discussing as more things have come out, is that I strongly believe it's going to be kind of like the DS family, right? So we had the DS that originally came out. It was its own thing. They came out with the DSi, which would have been the equivalent of kind of like a mid-cycle refresh, right? Or mid-lifetime refresh, kind of like how the Nintendo Switch OLED or the Nintendo Switch Lite, right? More like the OLED. It had new features, not the Nintendo Switch Lite so much. The OLED where there was new features, but not so much new features that it was a new console. So we had that, and then eventually they came out with, so the DS and then the DSi is what we had, right? And then eventually they came out with the 3DS. Now the 3DS was technically a new model of the DS, technically speaking, but it was its own new console. You can also kind of look at, the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, right? Kind of similar in that respect. Now, here's the kicker about these consoles is, just like has been rumored for quite some time, with these consoles, there was backwards compatibility. So you're going to have, most likely, as has been rumored with this next Nintendo console, which everybody's been calling the Nintendo Switch 2 for good reason, obviously, as this just come out. Just like how the 3DS could play the DS games, but the DS could not play the 3DS games. And likewise, how the Game Boy Advance could play the Game Boy games, but the Game Boy could not play the Game Boy Advance games. In similar fashion, is probably going to be how this is going to work, right? This new Nintendo console is going to be based off of the Nintendo Switch. It's going to use its accessories, most likely. It's going to be brand new in many ways. It's going to be a lot of, new features. It's not just going to be like, what the OLED was, a couple kind of minor new features. I mean, there's going to be substantial new features, kind of like how the 3DS had, quite a few new features from the actual DS. But there's gonna be a lot of similarities as well. It's not gonna be as much of a jump as, let's say, like the N64 to the GameCube was, for example, or like the Super NES to the N64, or the GameCube to the Wii. It's not going to be that much of a jump, but it's going to be the kind of jump that you've seen between Game Boy to Game Boy Advance, DS to 3DS, and etc. Which means we're going to have, a more powerful console. The likelihood of this thing being capable of 4K, has been rumored, is also probably true. A new kind of Joy-Con attachment system, where they've been rumored that there's going to be some kind of magnetic system. That's probably also going to be true, most likely. But at the same time, it's going to be able to use the current accessories that we have, the current Pro controller, the current Joy-Cons, except you're just not going to be able to attach them if the whole magnetic rumor is true. So I think, like, just by saying this, just the saying Switch next model is the appropriate way to describe it. I mean, Furukawa basically just unintentionally gave a little bit more weight to all these rumors. Again, there's still rumors and should be taken with a grain of salt, but it gave a little bit more credibility to the rumors, and that this kind of all fits together. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you would hope to see from this. Again, I think Nintendo Switch 2 is the right way to call it for now, because it is a new kind of iteration of the Switch, but again, it's going to be a substantial jump forward, just again, not the same way as you would expect from like those other consoles I mentioned, like, N64 to GameCube, GameCube to Wii, etc. So I don't know, I'm excited. That said, I was saying really quick, I'll just kind of close off this video. I was saying in the last video that what could happen, right, is I was saying the latter half of 2024, before this console comes out, what are we going to get? Well, Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD are been ports people have been wanting. We would say, like, well, why would they release that at the very end of the cycle? Well, if they're backwards compatible anyways, it's not going to matter. You know what I mean? So it's like, no one's going to care. No one's going to even bat an eye. It's just be like, oh, I'll get them on the Switch. And when the new Switch comes out, whatever it's called, Switch 2, I'll be able to play them on there. And maybe they're going to have an upscaled option, kind of like how, Xbox One to Xbox Series X and S, or how PS4 to PS5 kind of worked, right? So who knows? Your guys are as good as mine. I cannot wait to hear more about this thing later on this year. But first things first, we have a direct to attend to in June, which is not going to be mentioning anything about this new console. They've confirmed that. So we got that to see what the next games are going to be throughout the rest of the year. And I'm excited for that too, man. It's a new era for Nintendo. We're moving on to the next console. It's been a long time, 9 years, I think, right? So I'm excited. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one, leave it a like, subscribe for more. We do a variety of Nintendo-based content here on the channel. And as you can tell, I get very giddy and excited about Nintendo, because I love Nintendo. They're great. So can't wait to see what this thing is. Till the next one, game on. We'll see you guys soon.